Hi there, my name is Miyoko Shimura, and this blockchain interview is conducted with the support from the DOT Talent Program organized by the Frankfurt School Blockchain Center, Germany. I am a digital strategist and Web3 technical writer alongside my engineering career. Currently based in the UK, and originally I'm from Japan. I used to live in the suburb of Frankfurt and enjoyed German culture in my 20s. I have a passion for leveraging the power of data into the blockchain technology to create a more efficient and inclusive society. In my free time, I enjoy seeing contemporary art and NFT art. So today we have Maitri as an interviewer from India. Hello, Maitri. Please introduce yourself.
Yes, sure. So, hello, sir. I'm Maitri Vibhute, an undergraduate computer science student from India. And I have a passion for blockchain technology, and I actively participate in developer communities and hackathons. And in my free time, I enjoy playing badminton and also listening to some music.
Cool.
Thank you for your self-introduction, Maitri. Well, we have the incredible opportunity to hear from Dr. Yahya Al-Salkan. Dr. Al-Salkan is one of the extraordinary mentors in the DOT program. So he has been collaborating with us as DOT and NFT talent mentor, and also involved in the blockchain talent program. So Dr. Al-Salkan is very open, so broad-minded, and very much open to exchange his perspective based on his technical expertise. So hello, Dr. Al-Salkan.
Thank you for this interview, and let me just give you a brief history of my career in cryptography in general and also in the blockchain. I currently co-founder and also the CEO of Java.net Software. We've been in business for about 25 years almost. And before that, I was a cryptography engineer at Sun Microsystems in Silicon Valley in California. And before that also, I taught computer science at West Virginia University. I do have a degree, a PhD degree in computer science and electrical engineering, and that's all my education. In terms of my experience with blockchain, as I said, I was part of the security group at Sun Microsystems in California. And ever since, I have developed my career in the cryptography and information security discipline. I almost published about 50 different articles and chaired many conferences in the field. And I also have registered about 9 patents in the information and internet security. And the reason I'm saying this, because the background and the fundamentals of the blockchain in terms of cryptography and security, I do have it for a long period of time. When the Bitcoin comes about as the leader of cryptography and the underpinning technology of blockchain, it was easy for me to see the vision and also to understand it very quickly because of the fact that I've been in the cryptography business and information security for quite some time. As you mentioned also, I participated actually in many programs in the Frankfurt Blockchain Center. I started as an NFT talent in the first cohort, and also I joined also the Bitcoin first cohort, and currently I'm serving as a mentor for the NFT and also Bitcoin and DLT for the three programs. So I'll be delighted today to share together what you have in mind and how we can actually share the experiences when it comes to blockchain or cryptography or crypto business at large.
Thank you for your introduction. Well, we have such a great guest here today. So could you share your role as a mentor in the DOT and NFT program?
Yeah, well, the role is as a mentor, basically, you address the questions, if any. Whenever there is a question and you think that you can contribute to that question by answering the concerns, you actually pitch in and help. Whenever any of the cohort or the participants in the program needs any help, we are very glad to actually provide such kind of help. I also participate in all the sessions. And as you know, the sessions break out into different rooms for presentation. And that's one of the roles for the mentors, to make sure they run the breakout rooms and to manage it, and also to open the floor for discussion and put questions in order for the participants to actually maximize their participation in the program and in the discussion. The more you pose challenging questions, the more successful I become, or to lead the discussion in the room and the breakout rooms. But in general, as a mentor, we are here to help, to answer questions, and also to make the program somehow beneficiary for all, and also to help promoting the program among other potential participants in order for them to join the program or different other programs, whether it's the NFT, the Bitcoin, the DeFi, or the Bitcoin as well.
Yes, sir, as you correctly stated. And also, what would be some points for a newbie in blockchain? From where should he or she start in his blockchain journey?
Where to start, you mean?
Yes.
I think the best thing to do is to be connected with the community of blockchain. If the first thing I wanted to actually stress the importance of building the community. Of course, building the community is a process. It's not a one-time shot. For that reason, once you start building the community specialized in blockchain or any verticals, whether it's NFT, DLT, DeFi, or Bitcoin, or any other altcoins, then information and update comes to you. That's one. The second one, I would definitely start looking up for some YouTube channels. There's a lot of YouTube channels that you can actually join in order to get information about it. I'll mention some. CoinBiro is an excellent resource for explaining multiple protocols, not only Bitcoin, and not only the technology, but also the regulations and some politics and some events and so on. I would definitely also, there is another YouTube channel I usually listen to, which is called BTC Sessions, run by a guy called Ben. And Ben runs almost every day an update. That's another session I usually like to actually listen to once in a little while. Another third great session is Think Crypto. That's another YouTube channel I usually listen to. But all of this will never compensate the importance of reading reports. You can listen, you can participate in groups or building your community and what have you, but the more you read about Bitcoin or blockchain technology in general, the better it is. And there are a lot of resources on this. For example, just to mention a few, there's a great book by a friend of mine, Dr. Saifedean Ammous, The Bitcoin Standard and Fiat Standard. This is an excellent book to anybody to start jumping into the blockchain and Bitcoin journey. There is another book, the 21 Lessons of Bitcoin. That's also a great resource for understanding the fundamentals of Bitcoin and crypto. And Mastering Bitcoin also is an excellent resource for books. So in summary, build your community, listen to YouTube channels, and read reports and books. And take into consideration, it may sound as complex at the beginning, but once you start building your knowledge gradually and consider it as a process, it will become easier by time. So don't give up and don't be afraid.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And you are building community, and through that community, we are learning so much every day.
Yeah.
And there are too much resources in the internet, and maybe the giving information from such a community would be more fruitful and more informative for us.
Yeah. And you guys are doing a great job by participating in the DLT program, and you're already doing it. You're learning, you're researching, you're listening to YouTubes and contributing to your assignments, and more importantly, also building your community. So just keep at it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. So we should go ahead, and we have 3 questions to you, and I share my screen.
Sure.
Yeah. So about Ikigai concept. So Ikigai is a Japanese concept that refers to something that gives a person a sense of purpose or a reason for living. So we learned this concept from our mentor, Iptai Dipta, co-founder and managing director of Balanced Being Network and co-founder of Unit Network. And we are so impressed. So essentially, Ikigai is about finding the intersection of what you love and what you are great at and what you are paid for it and what the world needed. So Dr. Salkan, regarding what the world needed, in what part do you think blockchain can help? So especially perspective from your personal experiences as a CEO at a software development company.
Yeah, I think that's a very good starting question. Just to give a brief history, when actually blockchain and when Satoshi Nakamoto first published the white paper, it was in 2008, and at that time we had the major financial crisis. And that comes to a solution or proposed solution for the world financial crisis. So does the world actually need it? Absolutely. If there is a continuous financial crisis every some other years, 8, sometimes 10, sometimes 15 years, that means that there is an intrinsic loophole in the current financial and monetary system as we know it. And blockchain came to actually address this issue. So blockchain as a technology is actually revolutionizing the internet as a whole. And the reason for that, it is not only a technology or set of protocols. It's technology, and with the underpinning set of protocols, it is actually the use of science to also empower individuals to become more free. So it represents not only technology, but also freedom and the beauty of accumulation of science. Blockchain, in other words, and also the underpinning technologies in multiple cryptos, and the king of them is actually Bitcoin, comes to the evolution of the internet. The internet, when it started as a read-only medium of reading information. That's Web 1. Web 2 is actually provided read and write, especially after the invention of the mobile application and social media. Not only you can read, but also you can participate. With Web 3 and blockchain technology, you can actually read, write, and own. And that's the beauty of blockchain. in terms of the personal experience, that's, if you think about it, it's a new shift in paradigm. And that opens a huge opportunity for technology companies like us to actually embrace this change in technology and this phase of revolution and start providing the solutions and utilities on top of blockchain technologies and so on. I believe that what the internet has done for the information sharing, the blockchain technology is going to do for the empowering of individuals to become more free. Imagine yourself today if you become your own bank, or you become your own loyalty program, which I will talk about it in the course of this discussion, because we are developing a solution for loyalty program, which is 100% shift in paradigm, whereas loyalty and reward programs as we know it now is actually business-centric. Whereas in Web3, it becomes a customer-centric. So the customer will own his or her loyalty program more than the business itself. So I think the blockchain as a whole, as a technology, is actually revolutionizing the internet and converting the internet as a method also of payment, not only for information. And that, as I said, it opens a huge opportunity for technology companies, for individuals, for artists, and so on, to actually leverage this ownership of their intellectual property and their utilities as well.
Yes, so you are right. But there is a small difficulty in Web3 right now. As you might know that companies are striving to onboard many users onto Web3. So they call it onboarding the next billion users to Web3. And there are many, many people try to do this thing. So what do you think on this? What are your insights on this?
I think this is actually comes as a plus and positive for Web3 enthusiasts and also individuals who know it. And the reason I'm saying this, because Web2 companies are actually facing a downturn nowadays, whereas Web3 is actually going in the upturn. So that creates some sort of a balance in the economy, if you will. So that's without the invention and also the blockchain and crypto technologies itself, the suffering of the economies worldwide would have been much worse, I would think. That's true also, as I said, when you have a shift in paradigm, when you have a shift, for example, in the social media, at the beginning of the social media and the beginning of the AI deployment, there will be a shortage of technologists or engineers or individuals who understand this technology, similar to the crypto or blockchain as well. But as time goes, and that put an emphasis on the importance of education at this stage, and also the embracing of change among individuals and professionals to actually embrace this change and to embrace this shift into paradigm, then it becomes a de facto and mainstream. 15 years ago or 10 years ago, you barely could find a mobile developer. And nowadays, it goes without saying that any developer should be able to actually develop mobile applications. And I'm sure the crypto technologies and blockchain will go the same course. Although I must admit that there is a lot of work need to be done from the technology point of view for blockchain and crypto to be massively adopted, especially in the area of usability. We have a challenge here as technologists to make sure that this technology becomes easy to use and more intuitive for the public to actually embrace it and to start using it. And we have seen some realizations of this, but there is some more work need to be done in order to make the blockchain readily available and easily can be used. But again, this is a process of change. But the good thing here, blockchain technology is the fastest technology has been adopted in the history of science. So that's should tell us that we are actually moving into the right direction, and the embracement of such kind of a paradigm shift is already there and actually echoes in the minds of the newer generation more than the older generation, but at least we're progressing very steadily towards crypto to become a mainstream technology and blockchain as well.
Yes, sir. And communities are a part of doing that, and many people, they help others to onboard onto Web3.
Absolutely.
Our usability of Web3 technology is still have many problems. So it is still difficult to tell how to create Web3 wallet and how to buy or trade cryptocurrency. It's very difficult to teach such technology for elderly people.
That's true, and I believe there is a lot of work need to be done when it comes to usability and also interoperability among different protocols as well. Those are two major issues that need to be tackled, and I think by time, I'm sure we will get there.
Yeah, I think such a problem will be solved soon. Yeah, when we see Amazon's website 20 years ago, so the look is very different from now.
Yeah.
But as many people are getting into such a market, the usability will be improved very quickly.
Yeah.
We think, blockchain is the one. The world definitely needs it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And more importantly, I think blockchain and Bitcoin is specifically, as I said, it's not only just a technology, it's also an ethical mechanism of maintaining wealth and accumulation and reserving the value of investment. Imagine if the inflation rate today, whether it is 7%, 8%, 10% in the US, or some other countries 80%, and some other countries 200%, let's just take an average of 15%. That means if you have $100,000 in your bank account, in less than 7-8 years, they will actually become to zero because they lose their value almost 7 to 8 or 10% a year. Whereas as a store of value, Bitcoin has proven to be more hard money, and that's why I consider it more ethical in maintaining individuals' work and individuals' effort and individual wealth and assets as well.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your insight. Okay, so we go to the next question. So, Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin talent superstar. So, while you are being a DOT and NFT talent mentor, you also participated as a mentee in the blockchain talent program, where you were selected as a superstar by a vote. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's an honor.
Yeah. So what's the secret behind this success? And another question is, what are the top 3 keywords that currently fascinate you in the Bitcoin field?
I think the secret of success is very personalized, if you will. I always believe that you never stop learning. So you have to be passionate of what you actually learn and to keep at it and to have a passion of learning new stuff, learning from others. So you always have to have a passion for learning and to embrace what you exactly learning. The other secret, of course, for success is hard work. Whenever you think that there is a challenge, whether it's an assignment, a discussion, a question to ask, keep at it till you understand it, and to make it, the more you understand it, the more simple you can actually present it. So if I present an idea, it is not simple, I think I don't understand it enough. So I will keep at it till it become very simple to understand and very simple to explain. And when you do that, you dig deeply into the subject matter. And I also believe in Bitcoin, and it actually meets my beliefs as a mission in life to contribute to humanity. When you actually, Bitcoin is democratizing wealth and maintaining and preserving the effort of the individuals instead of accumulating this wealth in a third party or centralized authorities or banks. So I subscribe to the mission of Bitcoin to democratize wealth, to actually democratize money, and so it is more ethical. And that's one of the reasons I actually embraced Bitcoin for a long period of time. And when you believe in something, not only as a learning tool or as a learning mechanism or for business purposes, but also for your personal beliefs and for your mission in life, and you can contribute to the world, those are very good intersections to actually make you very passionate about what you're doing. And Bitcoin, to me, actually meets all of these principles, basically. In terms of the second part of the question, the top keywords, 3 keywords that currently fascinating me in Bitcoin topics. I think the first one, I believe in science, and I trust math and crypto more than any other third parties or governments. That's the first one. So believe in science. And I also believe in the future. Because Bitcoin nowadays, people think that Bitcoin is not really clear whether it's going to succeed or not. If you believe in science, you believe in fundamentals of Bitcoin, then you can actually believe on the future. And I believe in the future and the change. And the best thing that you can actually embrace change is actually to work at it. And also, especially so, that Bitcoin, as I said, is actually representing a very ethical way of distribution of wealth and maintaining individual and preserving the individual's effort. For example, an artist applying an NFT to their art or piece of art or music, they actually maintain and they preserve their intellectual property. Whereas nowadays, you can't believe it that artists, when they sell a song in one of the platforms on the internet, they actually receive less than 5% or 10% of the revenue the company can actually receive. Imagine if the artist, him or herself, collect whatever revenue they do based on their intellectual property. I think that's more ethical and more fairness for the individuals to actually excel. So yes, Bitcoin also represent an ethical change towards more democratizing economies. So those are the 3 words or the 3 principles, I would say, about Bitcoin. I'll tell you a thing about the importance of science.
Mhm.
In our culture, when God created the whole universe, God created the whole physical universe in 2 days and spent 4 different days afterwards to put the principles of science in the materials after it has been created. That tells you how much important science is for the evolution of humanity.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I'm also a big fan of God's protocol.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why, yeah, the science can contribute to that field.
Yes, sir. And science and maths is everything behind all the technologies we use.
And the beauty of science is the accumulation of knowledge. Every single stage or individual is contributing as little as it may sound, but the whole accumulation of science is what makes the change and the progress.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So okay. So, Maitri, could you pose the last question from you?
Yes, sir. So I had one question to ask you. So it's about failure and the future. So in your blockchain journey, is there any instance of any failure or challenge that you would like to share with us? And do you have any insights on the current market trends in cryptocurrency right now?
Sure. Yeah, I will start with the failures because you learn from failures.
Yes.
I currently live in a country actually crypto is forbidden. And I developed maybe 4 years ago a program called it VeriCert. VeriCert is actually for verification of certificate, especially for the higher education. When an individual graduates from university, that university will publish that certificate on the blockchain so that individuals, basically no one can actually tamper with that certificate, or no one can actually forge a certificate. So if you wanted to present that I hold a PhD from University of Illinois, you don't need to verify it through me as a holder of that certificate. You actually run a query to the blockchain. I will give you what certificates I have. So when start actually trying to push this solution to the local universities here, we faced the challenge of regulations. But that doesn't prevent us, or didn't prevent us, to actually continue pursuing our crypto business. Currently, we're looking into opening a startup whether in Europe or in the US to actually overcome all the regulations. So that's one of the lessons I learned, the importance of regulations. Another one which actually affected us in terms of the fast changes in the crypto, especially in Ethereum. We used to develop our own solution for dynamic NFT, if you will, because today you have a certificate as a bachelor's degree. Tomorrow you earn maybe a master's degree, and after some years you probably have a PhD or something like this. And we were developing our own solution to do that. Halfway through, the community actually published what's called dynamic NFT, so we have to actually readjust. So at the beginning, sometimes you need to be aware also of the development of the technology when it is actually in early stages. But those are lessons we basically learned from in our journey. In terms of the second part of the question about the insight of the current market or technology situation, I think the adoption of blockchain as a whole, crypto as specific, especially Bitcoin, is actually moving ahead and making a major strides toward adoption, especially after the invention of Lightning on top of Bitcoin. It becomes so easy to actually send money or receive money with faster, cheaper, and more secure through implementation of Lightning Network as layer 2. The inventions also of dynamic NFT makes it so easy for individuals and also companies to do multiple solutions. For example, as I told you, I'm also developing an application, I call it iLoya, for democratizing reward system and loyalty solution based on dynamic NFT. So the technology is there, and also using these technologies becomes more mature to actually implement or develop more applications. In the utility or iLoya program, the reward system can not only be used as a loyalty between business and customers, but actually can be in social media. Imagine the following case where if you buy an item from an e-commerce, let's say a book from Amazon, just to make it simple to understand, and you go ahead and wrote a review for that book, and I like your review. The minute I like my review, maybe I can get some sort of a reward in terms of Satoshi, for example. And that's what Iloya is trying to do. If I, after reading your review, I went ahead and I bought that book, I can also be getting some rewards from Amazon in terms of rewards in Satoshi and so on and so forth. So as the technology says, when you are doing the effort to promote a certain product, that level of effort you should be able to also compensate it for. And the blockchain technology is actually allow you to do so. So I'm very positive about the future of this technology. And I think the invention of and the utilizations of Lightning on top of Bitcoin makes it streamlined payment method and easy and fast and much cheaper. And also the advances of utilities on top of Ethereum, for example, in NFT business cases and multiple DeFi protocols will make it somehow mainstream. But as I said earlier, we still have a lot of work to do in terms of use cases and applications, and more importantly, about the usability of the technology to make it easy for the public to use it.
Yes, sir. And also, what is your long-term vision in terms of Web3? So, how long do you think it will go?
How long? No, I don't have the crystal ball, to be honest. But I am certain that as we move forward into the future, and I'm not saying 10 years or 20 years, I think less than that, we will see in our lifespan Bitcoin as a major technology will be used as a major digital assets, if you will, and a digital gold and a major store of value asset and digitizing money. I also can see the utilizations of Lightning on top of Bitcoin to become a methods of payment and railway of payment. For example, I know a company called Strike in the US and several other companies doing exactly the same. Imagine if I wanted to buy a service from you and I live in the US and you are in India, for example, I pay you in dollar through the Lightning Network. You will receive the amount whether in Bitcoin or in Ruby, if Ruby is the currency in India, and you don't need to know exactly how it's actually being transferred. And you will receive it instantly in less than a second or two. Whereas if you are a merchant or an artist or an author or whatever, you provide any service, and if I wanted to pay you in PayPal or Visa card or what have you, it will take you around a month to get the money finalized. Through a Bitcoin protocol and Lightning, you can get it immediately. And I also, it will cost me a fraction of a penny. That's a beautiful world to live in. And
Yes,
blockchain is actually empowering us to do so.
yes,
And
sir.
don't fear the resistance of governments, because governments are very slow to understand new technologies, but it's going to get there.
Yes, sir. In India also there is very much support from the government now in terms of blockchain as a technology, and maybe in the future they will also accept cryptocurrency.
Oh, that's a good change. Usually Previously, they were opposing crypto, but now they're making progress for accepting blockchain. That's good. That's good
Yes, sir.
news.
Yes, sir. In blockchain has a lot of use cases other than cryptocurrency,
Yeah.
and the government is empowering that. So
Yeah.
it is very good to see.
And I hope Japan will come next to embrace blockchain as a technology as well.
And I hope so. And yeah, Japanese have the power in especially in pop culture. So Japanese animation and Japanese mangas.
In
Yeah.
gaming.
There are so many good artists there, like from contemporary artists like Takashi Murakami. And there are other many famous manga artists. And so I think from my perspective, so creating NFT or redesigning the incentives for artists can empower such an artist. Yeah, because now today's distribution system is create the situation for artists is quite bad.
Yeah.
So secondhand materials like a music or like books, for them such artists never receive any profit from it.
Absolutely. The companies are cultivating the profits, and artists get very few fraction of it. In order to get $100, you need to sell maybe $1 million worth of material in order to get a couple of $1,000 or something like this. Whereas the blockchain technology or NFT or whatever can actually empower the individuals and to become more fair and more ethical.
Yeah, also you mentioned to the quick adoption of Bitcoin and Lightning. And it's amazing that my son, at the time he was just 7 years old, but he had known about Litecoin.
All right.
From his English friends. Yeah, they were talking about such a cryptocurrency at the school. So while adults are hesitating to accept new technologies, so the new generations are very open to adopt such a technology, AI and cryptocurrency, blockchain.
Yeah, I believe so. So the future is bright.
Mm-hmm. So we exchanged so many topics. We covered so many informations, and it's been a pleasure to share our thoughts and experiences with each other. So we're looking forward to the next session.
Absolutely.
At the DOT program, and I hope viewers also found this discussion very helpful and very informative.
Thank you.
Yes, and thank you so much, sir, for your time and the insights that you shared with us today.
Absolutely. One last word, that with the blockchain and especially the Bitcoin and Lightning, the technologists added a new layer to the internet. Is not only a method of conducting e-commerce, but also it is a mechanism of the internet of money. So that's added a new layer for streaming of money. And that opens a huge opportunity for paradigm shift and for technologies and for entrepreneurs to jump into the bandwagon and adopt these kind of technologies and embrace it and actually develop solutions for it. Imagine just for an example. Most of the time, let's take one example is the Netflix. They will give you a monthly subscription. With Lightning and Bitcoin, you don't need to actually have one size fits all. If you have Lightning on top of the service, then you can actually pay only of what you stream videos into your application or you consume, because it's a streaming of money. You can actually monetize the service per second or per byte or per everything. So you don't need to have actually one size fits all. Maybe one time you are busy with the studentship and with your college or with your assignments, you will not have a time to actually see one movie or two movies a month. And that's usually what happens. So instead of paying a monthly fee, you watched only one movie, and I have a free time and I watched 2 movies a day, and we pay the same subscription fee. That's unfair. With Bitcoin, you can actually monetize it and just bill as much as you can consume. Thanks to science. I believe in science and math.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we feel so many opportunities through the micro payment.
Yeah.
Through, utilizing such a blockchain technology.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's finish the interview. And
thank you.
Thank you for your time and consideration, Dr. Al-Sarkan.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and good luck, and stay building the community and be optimistic for the future and embrace change.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.